Today, I'd like to take you behind the scenes of one of my recent orchestral cues. The goal of this piece was to create a dark fantasy atmosphere, something that evokes mystery, trepidation, and the feeling that something ancient and unknown is just beyond view. So let's start with the opening. Now the piece begins with low strings, and what's important here isn't just the harmony, but it's the shaping of the dynamics. So rather than holding a static level, I have the strings continuously swelling and receding. So you can see the expression data here. These waves of dynamics, they help create the illusion that the orchestra is breathing. So it's a small detail, but it's one of the things that makes sample orchestra strings feel more organic or more human. Now, once that foundation is established, I start adding other orchestral colors. There's a tiny bit of celeste here. It's not prominent, but it immediately introduces a fantasy element into the sound world. I'm also using high violin, and here I'm using harmonics. So this creates that kind of fragile, almost supernatural texture over the orchestra. Now underneath everything, there's a contrabassoon. This is reinforcing the low register, adding depth and weight to the overall sound. I'm also, you can see I'm using the same CC data on everything that's playing in this section. Now, one of my favorite devices in this cue is the harp. So the harp is not just functioning in the traditional sense of just playing continuous sounding large arpeggios or drawing attention to itself, but instead it's acting like a motor, but it's subtle. It's suggesting the tempo. So now after this, we have the main melody. Starts here. Now I wanted the melody to be something, kind of have this angular quality to it. So it has this sort of larger intervallic leaps that create a sort of sense of uncertainty and tension. It fits with the dark fantasy atmosphere. Now to support that melody, I introduced a solo vocalist. The voice adds a human element to the texture while still retaining that sense of mystery. The French horns I have are now providing a counter melody. Now the counter melody helps create just a richer musical conversation, and it gives the section more momentum than a single melodic line would have on its own. The final section of the cue opens up considerably. The full orchestra enters. The harmonic language begins to shift. So what I like about the ending here is because it leaves the interpretation open. It could, this big major chord, it's ending, everything was minor up until this point. And it could represent a victory or a rescue or a revelation, or simply it could be the first appearance of light after a long period of this sort of darkness. So that's a brief look at how the cue is constructed. Thanks for watching, and now let's have a listen.